AITA for telling my ex I refused to share custody of our daughter? My ex and I have an incredibly long history. We met when I was 18 and he was 19. He was my first love and we dated about a year. But after the breakup we continued an off and on again friends with benefits relationship until I turned 23. Which was also the same time I found out I was pregnant. He was going to school to be a doctor and he was in his second year of getting his doctorates when I found out. He also was studying in another state that was on the other side of the country. I got pregnant during one of his visits back home. When I found out I was pregnant I told him immediately. He was very angry and asked what I was going to do about it. I told him I'd be keeping it and he told me he wanted no part in the child's life because it was going to ruin everything for him. I told him that wasn't an option. I myself grew up with my birth father jumping in and out of the picture and it's a big stem of my mental illnesses now. All things he knew. After begging him to be in the baby's life throughout almost my entire pregnancy, one day he and his parents called me and offered me a deal. They offered to pay me a very hefty child support until the day the child turned 18 if I never forced him to be a real father. His parents, who were very wealthy, promised to take care of everything. At first I said no. I refused and called them all assholes and told them my baby was gonna have a dad. But after talking to many of my friends and family they thought it best I take the offer. They told me there was no use in forcing him to be a shitty dad to my baby. I finally agreed about 8 months into my pregnancy. I took sole custody, of course. It's been 7 years and I had a beautiful baby girl that I love more than anything on earth. Every single month I get a check and not once has it ever been late. I haven't seen or talked to my ex since the day he handed me the first check. Until about a week ago. I get a call and it's my ex. He tells me he wants to take joint custody of our daughter. The daughter he has never met in his or her life ever. I was infuriated and told him no. He told me that I can't just say no because he's going to take me to court where a judge will decide. I was crying and screaming and asking why he was doing this. He told me he was sorry but he's ready to be a father and he wants to be there for our daughter. When I told him I was going to fight him with every fiber of my being to make sure he got nothing, he told me I was being ridiculous and I need to grow up. I've told my family and friends and almost all of them have told me I need to give him a chance and that I'm just being a bitch. The only person that agrees with me is my mother, who watched me get torn apart by my father's constant jumping in and out of my life when I was a child. I know that this is going to be a hard fight and ultimately it is the court's decision, but I just feel like I need to fight this. AITA for being so against him getting any custody? Edit. For all the people that are confused about age. We met in late teens. Got pregnant when I was 23 and he was 24. I'm 30 now and he's 31. Edit 2. For all the people that are saying I'm TA for not getting an abortion. Thanks. But I remember asking if I was an ass for telling my ex I'll fight him over custody. Please stop telling me I should have aborted my 7-year-old daughter. It's very much too late and I never asked for your opinion on that matter. Hey guys. So I wanted to give an update since some of you were very kind and worried for me and my daughter. So I made a very hard decision. After many people's advice and opinions I decided to ask my daughter what she wanted. After a very long and hard conversation with my daughter she did tell me she would like to meet him. I don't want to say much more about that. Can't lie, it hurt my heart, but I remember being that excited every time my mother told me about my father. I called him and asked him if he would meet me for coffee. He told me he thought that'd be great and we set it up. Seeing my ex again was incredibly hard. After a very long talk we decided that if we could both be civil adults we could stay out of court. I decided to let him know that I think he should pay for therapy for them both and he agreed that would be a smart decision. They have an appointment in 2 weeks and my daughter is excited. I've also made it clear there are no second chances after this. I'm not going to say I'm not nervous about this whole situation. I'm actually very scared for my daughter. I want what's best for my daughter and that's it. I'm trying very hard to remember the man my ex was for me though. He was my best friend and rock for 5 years and I only hope he can be that for my daughter now. Thanks for the many kind words from many different Redditors. Many of you gave me the courage and reassurance that I could handle this and many others gave me healthy advice for my daughter's future relationship with her father. Thanks again to the kind comments and advice. Edit. So I'm seeing a lot of people say I need to legalize his visitation and stuff, but I need to know he can be a father first before doing this. When I say stay out of court I mean we won't be having a long nasty custody dispute. We will talk to our lawyers when we cross that bridge. And now let's hear it on the comment from our Reddit peps. First comment is from Mushroom Princess 63. One of the hardest parts of being a parent is stepping back and laying down our own ego in the best interest of the kids. That is what you've done here. It shows that you're a fantastic mother who has the ability to realize your daughter's feelings should not be discounted just because she's a child. Good job. Your daughter has a strong future with you on her side. Next is from Reptar 1988. Staying out of court is a nice idea, but not having a legal contract can bite you in the ass later. He can take your daughter out of the state, keep her longer than you agreed on, etc. Once the three of you figure out his role in her life, get it in writing. Plus, even if you are getting money from his parents, they could die or decide now that he wants to be a father, they will stop paying. For your kid's sake, go after child support from the father. Even if you don't need it, put it in an account for college, her wedding, whatever. You are doing her a huge disservice by not securing, in writing, funds for her future. Good luck. From Sassy Vermonter, incredibly difficult decision OP, good for you for putting your own feelings aside and involving your daughter in the decision. This one is from Acervide. Staying out of court might seem like a nice idea now, but here's the rub, without a custody order in place, he can take your child whenever he wants. Pick her up from school? Sure. Not give her back? Absolutely. I work for a sheriff's office and we get calls like this all the time where people didn't put any kind of custody order or agreement in place through the court and now one parent has the kid and won't give them back. It's nice that you guys have a verbal agreement, but we can't enforce a verbal agreement. We can't rip the child from the arms of whichever parent has them in order to give it to the parent that's calling us. Please get something done through the court. And lastly is from Reddicky MC. I'm so glad you went that route. I have seen kids despise the parent who kept them away, even though the other parent was the one that took off. Hopefully things will work out for all involved. And that's all for today, guys. See you on the next one.